Hello world, welcome to Soccer vs Football. Today we are checking out the Patrick Gold Card 13 and the following are its specifications at a glance. The shoe weighs in at approximately 310 grams or 11 ounces. It costs approximately $120 to ship to Singapore. It has a 9x4 stud configuration with conical studs. The sole is attached to the upper by way of sewing glue and rivets. Most of the upper is made from kangaroo leather with the exception of the interior heel counter lining. The shoe is made in China and was released in 2015. And as of October 2018, it remains in production with ready stocks across eBay, Amazon, and major online sporting retailers. Now that we have gotten the introduction out of the way, some personal background on the shoe. Growing up, one of my uncles wore a Patrick shoe. He would wash them and leave them out on the floor to dry. Curious, I would try on the wet and oversized shoe, and when caught, I would run away to escape being scolded for touching his stuff. Naturally, when I discovered that Patrick had remanufactured and reissued the shoe, I grabbed one off Amazon to relive the memory. So Uchu, this video is for you. The shoe came in a regal black box with two gold ribbons running diagonal across the corners. The sizing information is on the side, and as you can see, I'm a UK 7.5, EU 41, US 8. There's a sticker at the top right hand corner that emphasizes the shoe is made from natural leather. On the bottom of the box is a chart that compares the various international sizes. This is not an effective use of the space. Instead, the brands should print a sizing chart that is scaled to an actual human feet. This allows customers to place their feet onto the box and determine the right shoe size within. Opening up the box, on the underside of the lid is a sticker made from natural plant extracts that prevent molds from growing during transportation and long-term storage. I tried to research this sticker but found very little information on how it works. Also provided is a red drawstring bag to carry your shoe in, with a white Patrick branding emblazoned across it. A chain holds a mini booklet and a leather tag with an imprinted kangaroo to reinforce the leather's origin. The leather tag also allows you to apply mink oil to it and note any color changes before applying onto the shoe itself. The chain was on one of the shoelace holes but was removed in preparation for the video. Contained within the booklet are information regarding Patrick. Key historical mentions include the founding of the company in 1892. There are mentions of Kevin Keegan in 1979 and Michel Platini in 1985, both of whom are endorsed athletes of Patrick. The remaining pages provides a summary catalogue of other products in the Patrick portfolio. The last page mentions that Patrick today is part of the Belgium sporting conglomerate, the Cortina Group of companies. Putting the chain aside, we find a packing paper with the Patrick logo in a repeated pattern. This envelopes a second tracing paper that protects the shoe from grazing and scuffing one another during transportation and storage. Finally, we sneak the first glimpse of the shoe. Let us put the shoe aside while we pack everything neatly back into the box. Here you go, the Patrick Gold Card 13. Let us take our first good look at the shoe. The first thing that strikes you is how heavy it feels when you pick it up. Next, as you bring your attention to the vamp and caress its upper, you will note the substantial padding on the leather. Patrick touts this as kangaroo leather, but when compared to the Adidas Copa Mundial and the Mizuno Morelia, this leather feels stiff and abrasive. It is not as supple. I have minked oiled the leather multiple times, but the feel of the leather has not improved. Perhaps Patrick had sourced the leather from an older kangaroo instead of a younger Joey. Patrick does make another model from calf leather, which is the Gold Card 15, so that does go some way to help reassure the authenticity of kangaroo leather on this version, the Gold Card 13. When viewed from the side, the toe box has a low wedge-shaped profile, so it's not comfortable when worn straight out of the box. This shoe requires additional break-in time for the vamp to feel comfortable. In comparison, here is the Umbro Speciale as an example of a vamp with a large lusted toe box. This allows the toe to slide all the way to the end of the shoe, providing an accurate fit in a smaller sizing. This ensures you do not trip when running and have sufficient ground clearance when striking the ball. The vamp has a patent element which provides additional texture and grip to assist with ball control and first touches. Let me know in the comments if you think such elements make a difference to ball grip and control. Multiple crescent patterns are sewn across the vamp, while a secondary sewing line starts from the front and flows along the side to the rear three-quarter before circling back and returning to the front. This stitching creates a pattern that divides the vamp down into smaller contoured sections, which provides additional friction and improved ball grip. Visualize a leather chair that is smooth versus one which is dimpled. It is easier to slide off the smooth chair than the dimpled one. The patterns are double stitched with a 2mm gap between the threads. This demonstrates Patrick's confidence in the leather, in particular its strength and durability. It implies that the sewing holes will not be engorged across one another to form a larger hole. As the crescent-shaped pattern travels towards the rear of the shoe, it is transformed. It becomes wider, more raised, and it transitions into a vertical pillar. This pillar feels hard and stiffer compared to the rest of the vamp. Possibly, it was done to improve lockdown and to provide a harder impact surface when contacting the ball. This is an innovative design idea and is brilliantly executed. Moving along the vamp, we arrive at the side of the shoe. This region is extremely well padded with approximately 1 cm of sponge and helps protect the feet from stud bruising in the event of a mistimed tackle. Running the finger across this area, you could feel the Patrick branding is raised while the Gold Cup 13 is depressed into the leather. Patrick, the brand with the 2 stripes, is not to be confused with Adidas, the brand with the 3 stripes, because Patrick's faces the opposite direction and are located at the rear end. The stripes are angled from the shoulder towards the sole. The 2 white branding is backed with a gold lining, and within each stripe you can feel 2 raised indentation. This is very incredible attention to detail. The 2 stripes allowed Patrick to transition to a different type of kangaroo leather for the rear quarter. There's a marked and distinct difference in the type of leather ahead of the 2 stripes and behind it. The leather used for the rear quarter is not as wrinkled as on the vamp, nor is it as padded. Patrick may have taken the opportunity to merge 2 different leather types and hit the joint seam behind the stripes. The heel counter is bordered by a flowing tribal design, which leads to and circles the embossed Patrick logo located at the pull tab. The feature of the outstep are then mirrored on the instep with the exception of the Patrick and the Gold Cup branding. The area is left blanked, but remains just as well padded and allows for the comfortable control and trapping of balls. However, the cushion instep has the reverse effect of reduced ball speed when passing. The shoe is asymmetrical when viewed from the top. The instep and outstep of the shoe is separated by the tongue and the central lacing which runs down the middle. Polyester laces with minimal stretch help secure the shoe around your feet. Unmarked eglets allow for slotting of the laces through holes which are reinforced by a secondary layer of leather. The tongue consists of 2 pieces. The main segment is layered with a sponge to cushion the bone of the feet and provides additional protection in the event someone stamps on your feet. The second segment is a triangular flap which folds downwards and does not stay upright. Both segments are made of leather. The main body of the tongue is lacerated to expose a slit which allows laces from hole 3 and hole 4 to lock the tongue in place, preventing it from sliding left to right as you run. Changing to the second shoe, which does not have the laces tied to allow us to get a better view. A carpet velcro is affixed on the bridge of the slit, while the hook velcro is matched onto the underside of the tongue's flap. A label with the Patrick logo is sewn onto the flap and is bordered by patent tribal lines. The two Patrick stripes lead into the interior glove, ending with the slogan Esprit de Sport. A small accompanying tab provides US, EU, UK and JP sizing. Further along the tongue are two additional labels with the sizing and slogan repeated, the year of Patrick's establishment, the shoe's model, the URL of Patrick, and the country of manufacture, which in this case is China. The second white label contains information about the materials used to manufacture the shoe. First, the upper is organic leather. Second, the glove interior is a synthetic mesh. And third, the sole is a synthetic plastic. Lifting the tongue reveals the interior glove of the shoe. A removable insole which is not glued down sits on the chassis floor. Removing the insole reveals a high arch-shaped support to fill in the empty recesses and negative space left by the feet. The insole, however, is not reinforced with any frame to maintain its form. Therefore, when pressure is applied, the arch will collapse. All feet arch types will find the shoe comfortable, but it implies that the insole does not provide any significant support. It does, however, have additional padding around the area of the arch, which may improve comfort level slightly. The insole has two cushion zones in yellow. The first is in the forefoot and the second is in the heel. The cushion, located in the heel, has the Patrick icon and term shock absorbing printed to hint at its function. Together with the raised indentation up top, they provide additional comfort against plantar fasciitis. Compressing the cushion suggests that they are the same material but of different density. Patrick elected to not use Poron, a material found on competing models such as the Nike Tiempo, to save costs. Ventilation holes are perforated in the middle of the insole, such that when you run, air within these holes are pushed out when compressed. This provides air circulation and ventilation for your feet. The chassis floor is made from a flexible plastic and is identified as Soccer 4. This tells us that there are at least 4 soccer platforms that Patrick builds its shoes on. The chassis has an EU 41 sizing, hence when buying this shoe, use the EU sizing for accurate fitment. All the other UK, US, JP sizing are simply mapped back to the EU size. Instead of trimming the threads which attaches the chassis to the leather upper, Patrick elected to leave them behind. This considerate touch allows for the skilled local cobbler to repair the shoe using the abandoned threads. There are ridges on the forefoot of the chassis. These ridges encourage the shoe to bend around the thinner and weaker ridge points. It only flexes and pivots at the forefoot, while the rest of the shoe remains reinforced and sturdy. The sole also does not flex the other way. The interior glove is lined with an industry-standard nylon mesh that stops accelerated wear by preventing toenails from digging into the leather. The shoe's mouth and heel cup is wrapped in synthetic leather, and regardless of the synthetic material, the heel counter is the most comfortable on the market. No competition comes close. It was as if an air bubble was trapped within the leather, allowing the heel to cushion comfortably against the cup. The level of comfort is superior to shoes generally acknowledged to be snugged, such as the Adidas Copa Mundial. Blisters are therefore unlikely when the right shoe size is worn. The heel tab with the embedded Patrick logo provides a friction surface for the forefinger to grip and pull the shoe, sliding your feet in. Patrick, however, failed to consider an indentation groove to allow the Achilles tendon to rest within. When compressed, the heel cup flexes slightly when it should remain rigid instead, because a rigid heel cup prevents the feet from rotating and pivoting in the shoe. In comparison, here is the ASICS testimonial with its non-flexing heel cup, which securely anchors the feet by locking the heel in. Moving on to the next important part, its sole. The sole is a separate plastic that is glued, then reinforced with sewing and rivets. The 9x4 stud pattern provides superior weight distribution when compared to its competition, such as the Copa Mundial and the Puma King, because of first, an extra stud on the instep, second, a larger rectangular center stud, and third, larger size studs in general. The studs in the forefoot are 10mm in diameter, while the studs in the rear are 13mm in diameter. Together, these three factors contribute to better than average sole comfort. Patrick placed an amazing amount of detailing on the stud. The center stud has a molded Patrick icon, whilst the circular stud have a molded two-stripe branding. The studs are linked by a raised border which outlines the circumference of the sole. Each circular stud points to the next using the two-stripe branding as a compass needle to denote the position of the next stud. This is amazing and beautiful detailing right here. The studs at the forefoot sits on radiating lines. Like a spider webbing, these lines contributes to the sole's flexibility by distributing stress and preventing cracking over time. The radiating lines also serve the secondary purpose of agitating mud or stuck sludge when the shoe flexes while running. The four rear studs sits on muscular foundational buttresses, which reinforces and strengthen the sole from the impact of repeated heel strikes. Enclosed within the four studs is a raised Patrick branding in black. A shockwave vibration dampener is glued onto the midsole where the feet's arch rests on. This is intended to absorb micro vibrations which resonates within the sole. It has been used in the sport of tennis to effectively reduce vibrations from rackets. In comparison, here is the Pele Sports 1970, a shoe that implements the same dampener technology. For the manufacturers to bring it to market, there had to be some data that supported its implementation. Leave comments. Tell me what you think if this technology works. Now let us take out the weighing scale and figure out how much the shoe weighs. So everything about the Patrick Gold Cup 13 comes in a package that weighs approximately 310 grams or about 11 ounces. In comparison, a similar fitment Adidas Copa Mundial comes in at about 295 grams or 10.4 ounces. So yes, the Patrick Gold Cup 13 is heavier than the Copa Mundial. So if you are interested in buying one of these but coming from one of the other competition heritage models, just note that a Patrick UK size 7.5 matches a Copa Mundial in UK 7, a Puma King in UK 7.5, a Mizuno Morelia in UK 8, and Umbro Speciale in UK 7.5. In summary, the following are the positive points of the shoe. First, the Patrick Gold Cup 13 is beautiful and has well thought of intricate designs. It is like a limited edition shoe with hidden Easter eggs. There are many design elements which are well thought of, and it reflects the creativity and attention to detail placed in the product. Second, the structure and chassis of the shoe is solid and sturdy where required, and yet flexible at the right points, which translates to better support for the feet and therefore less injuries. Third, the material used by the shoe is top-notch. From the quality leather upper to the plastic sole, no expense is spared, no cutting of corners. Patrick is one of the few brands that uses kangaroo leather for the tongue. Fourth, during the initial fitting, the shoe is comfortable on feet and well padded with strategic cushioning that provides more protection than the competition. But given all the strengths of the shoe, these are my wish list for Patrick to make the shoe better. Patrick have a good thing going and have laid down a foundation to build on. By addressing the following items, the shoe will be one of the best on the market. First, there is no serial number on the shoe, only the box. The importance of the serial number is often overlooked, but an identifying number on the shoe will allow Patrick to improve its quality, based on feedback received from orphan shoes without boxes. When products are not tracked, it implies no continuous improvement and correction system in place. Patrick fire and forget the shoe once it is launched onto the market. Second, weight. The shoe is heavy, however, it is acceptable if the extra weight is used to make the shoe more comfortable and safer, preventing injuries. Third, the thick VAM leather is not as supple as the competition, but again may be overlooked if it contributes to the shoe's durability in the long run. Also, Patrick did not stretch the leather to make it thinner at the expense of initial toe box comfort. Fourth, the heel tab needs an indentation to allow the Achilles tendon to slot into. This will increase the comfort level when sprinting or shooting the ball with the ankles locked. Fifth, poor workmanship. Let me draw a distinction between material quality and poor workmanship. The shoe is made using quality materials, however, on this reviewed shoe, the seams are unraveling and the threading is starting to come undone. Lastly, history, time. Patrick exited the market for too long and lost its association with football. If this shoe is the Trojan to get it back through the door, please invest in it, work on making it better. Do not let the shoe stagnate over time. Please make subtle improvements as stronger and lighter materials become available. Please do not cut corners on the shoe to make it more profitable. Please hang around, do not give up on it. Let the shoe establish a following and build up its reputation and heritage. And with that, we come to the end of the Patrick Gold Cup 13 review. And the following is my soccer versus football rating for the shoe. Out of an achievable score of 10, the shoe design details gets a 9, leather quality 7, build quality and workmanship 7, comfort and fit 9, cool factor 7. The remaining categories are blanked and will be scored in a playtest video. To find out the ending to this story, please subscribe to the channel to receive a notification when that video is uploaded. If you find this video interesting and helpful, please like it so it is bookmarked and you could always refer to it later. If you know of someone who may be interested in the shoe, please share it with your friends so they too could benefit from the information. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please leave them. They are like serial numbers and help make future videos better. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will try my best to answer them. A written review and higher resolution pictures are available at soccerversusfootball.com. With that, stay healthy and happy always. Thank you everyone.